Welcome back to Morning Joe, 8:52 in the morning at the White House. Joining us now, the man who oversaw the security of the 2020 elections, former director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, Chris Krebs. Chris, good morning. It's great to have you back on the show. I'm sorry we have to have you back on the show to answer these questions again, but they do seem to keep cropping up from high places, including yesterday from the former Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, who wrote an op-ed in which he said, among other things, after an election marked by significant voting irregularities and numerous instances of officials setting aside state election law, I share the concerns of millions of Americans about the integrity of the 2020 election. Voting irregularities has become a catch-all phrase that people who want to cast doubt on the results of the 2020 election have been using. What do you say to the Vice President this morning?
Well, first off, Willie, thanks for having me on, and happy Inauguration Day, right? March 4th, this is the big day, for the Q-types at least. Look, I think you can have legitimate criticisms of H.R. 1, independent of the dog whistle for the big lie, and that's election irregularities. Repeating this mantra, these supposed examples of voting integrity issues from the 2020 election does nothing to restore confidence in the election. And, you know, again, to your point, the catch-all, where's the specificity, the state official setting aside state laws? It's simply not true. It's repeating some of the claims that have been litigated, not just on a standing or laches basis, but many courts in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Georgia decided cases on the merits, and the Trump campaign was found wanting.
So, again, apologies for putting this question to you again, but apparently it has to be said again. Did you see in your vast study of the 2020 election any instances where votes were changed or there were irregularities, whatever that means, something that might tip the balance of the election?
No, absolutely not.
And when you hear people like Vice President
I'm just going to be pretty straightforward on that, Willie. Sorry.
Yeah, and we've heard you say it again, and you've said it from the beginning. You said it was the most secure election in the history of the country. But when you hear people like the Vice President, we've heard it from senators like Ted Cruz and Ron Johnson and Josh Hawley, sort of push it off to the voters and say, well, I'm just giving voice to the many millions of Americans who are concerned about what happens. How do you respond to that?
You know, they are responding in many cases to their constituents that have voiced their concerns, and they think they're doing their constitutional duty as elected officials. But in many cases, even at the state level, this is turning into just a continuation of performative politics. In fact, in the state of Georgia, the legislature's leadership down there actually told their rank and file members that if they needed to introduce a bill on election integrity, no matter how extreme it is, go ahead, feel free. If that's what it takes to, calm the base. What we don't, I think what's underappreciated though, is that this is just an escalating spiral of erosion of confidence in elections, and we've got to get back to some, rational conversation about how elections work in this country, educate the people on the processes. Look at what's happening in Arizona with the legislature's subpoena of 2.1 million ballots to conduct some undetermined audit of the process when the process has already been audited several times and, again, found to be accurate and a conclusive election outcome.
As you say, the votes have been counted and recounted, and in some cases recounted again in the state of Georgia, all with the same outcome.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.